In China, there is no privacy and authorities are always watching. A new immigrant from China tells us. More on the details by NTD's Don Ma.
Chinese residents face extremely intrusive forms of surveillance. A newly immigrated Chinese woman, Hui Juan, tells us her related experience in China.
A relative of mine, he was smoking next to a power pole. A while later, he received a message on his phone telling him that he was smoking in public. He said, "How did they know that I'm here? If he did not tell me this, I would not have believed it. How is this possible?" The message was advising him not to smoke too much. He himself was very surprised too.
What Hui Juan described is achieved through big data and facial recognition technology. According to a report by British cybersecurity firm Comparitech last October, Chinese cities have the most number of CCTV cameras anywhere in the world. The report says 18 out of the world's top 20 most surveyed cities are in China. With so many cameras, Chinese authorities can monitor anything. For example, in January last year, the regime used facial recognition systems to shame those who wore pajamas in public. Authorities in a city in China's Jiangsu province captured surveillance photos of local residents who wore their pajamas on the street, and then posted their names, ID, and their location on social media to shame them. In China, it's even mandatory to pass a facial recognition test to register for a mobile phone. The Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology made it mandatory in 2019. In another case, authorities even require a facial scan for toilet paper in a public restroom in Beijing. According to a BBC report, after scanning your face in the bathroom, toilet paper machines will dispense about an arm's length of toilet paper. To get more paper, you'll have to wait 9 minutes and scan your face again. Hui Juan also tells us that Chinese people never experienced real freedom.
I read an interview one time. There was a quote that I found particularly profound, which was that Chinese people have never enjoyed real freedom, and they simply don't know how valuable it is. I grew up in that society. I think it's really like that.
Hui Juan says Chinese people do not think about whether they have freedom or not until they're treated unfairly and when they have to appeal for their rights.
When you try to fight for your rights, then you will know what is freedom, what is democracy. In China, there is none. When you or your family or your loved ones don't get affected, you feel that things are fine. But once you are affected, I think that's when the Chinese people will begin to contemplate about freedom and will understand why it's so hard to obtain.
There are many cases in China where people are put under surveillance when they try to petition for their rights. In Jiangsu province, a Chinese woman is facing 24/7 surveillance after her husband went to Beijing to petition for rights. The authorities arrested her husband and hired some 20 guards to monitor over the woman to prevent her from petitioning as her husband did. The couple was petitioning for the injustice they felt as a result of their business being forcibly demolished. There are also cases where people were surveyed for months. Again, in Jiangsu province, another woman has been forcibly confined in her own home for more than 4 months. This is after she tried to report a case of injustice to Beijing. 4 men set up tents around her home to prevent her from leaving. She's not even allowed to buy groceries. The men are suspected to be hired by Chinese police. Reporting by Don Ma, NTD News.